In this sponsored tutorial, I'm going to show you the MailOptin plugin and some of the cool things it can do to help you build your list. And the standouts for me are you have, I think there's 7 or 8 different places you can include opt-ins on your website. And then there's 9 or 10 different triggers that will show those opt-ins based on certain criteria that your visitors have to meet, like time on page, the amount of pages they scrolled through, amount of pages they visited, all kinds of stuff. I'm going to show you all of it in this tutorial. If you're thinking of building a list and growing your business online, this is definitely something you should watch, and we're getting started right now. Hey, what is going on? My name is Bjorn. If you're into WordPress and learning tips and tricks and getting better at it, make sure you click subscribe, then the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything, and check out our Facebook group, linked to in the description down below, where we help each other with WordPress. And with that out of the way, let's head into the screen capture. I'll see you there. This is the site for the MailOptin plugin that we're talking about today, and I think one of the coolest features of this plugin is the ability to embed an opt-in in so many different places using just one plugin. You have the option to build a lightbox, notification bar at the top of the page, slide in that comes in from the side, a sidebar widget, content after or before post, or right in the post itself, or right in the content structure, or embedded and inline inside of posts, like in the middle, and then calls to action, which is a button that you click on and then opt-in pops up. But what's even cooler is when you combine this with trigger events. And these trigger events are things like triggering an inline pop-up, for example, when someone's been on a page for a certain number of seconds, when someone has scrolled down a certain percentage of the page, when someone has visited a certain number of pages, when someone is on a specific page, you can have opt-ins. And it just allows you to really fine-tune where opt-ins appear, and you can really personalize your opt-in messages. So if you have pages about, for example, how to cook fish, then you can have specific opt-ins on those recipe pages that are about cooking fish. And on different recipe pages, you can have different opt-ins. So they're very tailored, or you can tailor them very specifically to the content the person is viewing. And that's the biggest reason I like this plugin. There's also a lot of different integration options with email providers, but if you don't have an email provider, you can also store the leads right in the site. So to get started, you have to get the plugin. And to get the plugin, we head over to pricing. They have a free version as well, but I'm using the agency version, and the free version does a lot too, so it's not like it's useless, but it does a lot. But if you are serious about growing your list, you got to get some kind of software that helps you do that, and this is definitely one of the ones that will help you. So you just come to this pricing page, you pick the option that's good for you. There's a link in the description down below for a 15% off coupon, so if you do want to buy it eventually at some point, you can get 15% off just by using the coupon that I've either linked to down below or it's in the description down below. So I'm going to install this plugin. I'm going to head over to plugins and then add new. I'm going to click on upload plugin and drag and drop the plugin into here. Click on install now. Then click on activate plugin. Then I'm going to go to activate your license key. Paste in license key here. Click on save changes. And then if we scroll down the left here, we now have these options over here. Even without the license key, you have some options here. But we have this MailOptin menu section. If we go to settings first, just to do the initial setup for the plugin. For the general options, we can choose to remove data when we uninstall the plugin. We can allow usage tracking, which tells the plugin developers how the plugin is being used. We can add our affiliate link, because below the plugin or below the opt-ins, there's a little bit of branding for MailOptin, and that can be a link, an affiliate link to their site. So if people are on your site, they see the opt-in, they wonder how you do that, they see that little link down there, they click on it, they can go and buy it through your affiliate link. So you can set those options. For the opt-in campaigns, sometimes you have to clear the cache because changes are saved in the browser, and clearing cache really helps with your development, because it's a really painful experience when you're making changes, you don't know why they're not being applied. It's often a caching issue. So clearing cache is key when you're making changes actively to your plugin or to your opt-in designs. The global interaction cookie defines the number of days between a user interacting with your opt-in and it being shown again. So if they click an X on an opt-in, on any opt-in on your site, if you have multiple, this is the number of days that it would be until they see another opt-in. And if it's set to 0, they will always see the opt-ins. Global success cookie. So if they actually successfully opt in, this shows the number of times or number of days before they'll see another opt-in after successfully opting in. And if you have multiple opt-ins on your site for multiple different things, this is important. But if you only have one opt-in on your website and you only ever want people to opt in for it once, then you could set this to 1,000 because you don't want them to see it again, because the opt-ins are intrusive. They're not great for user experience, but they are needed for growing an online business. So it's kind of a fine balance between using them and not using them. So if you only have one opt-in, you can set this to 1,000. But if you have multiple, you want people seeing those opt-ins over and over and potentially opting in to get greater value from you. The notification email of new leads, this is sent to you as the website owner, and it's sent whenever someone opts in, and this is the information that it sends you. You can customize that a little bit with shortcodes. Under email automation, we have the options of where emails are being sent from. So the from name currently is set to this. You change that to whatever you want that to be. From email, reply to email, someone replies to it, it can go here, whatever this email address is set to, company name, address, and things like that for the CAN Spam Act. Always important to have. The lead bank, this is when you don't have a CRM or an email collection service, an autoresponder. You can save the leads right into the website. So you can choose to disable lead bank by checking this, or if you leave that on, we have under opt-in campaigns, if we go there right now, that's the last setting on the settings page. Under opt-in campaigns, we have our lead bank right here. Click on there. This will then list all of the submissions. And even when you connect with an external autoresponder, it still shows all of your submissions in here. You can export them at any time, shows where they came from, the date they came in, things like that. It's also important to note that the website does not send emails with this plugin. The emails are sent through an autoresponder. So when you have the lead bank initiated, that's all you have, you can collect the leads, but you can't email them from the website itself. You have to have some kind of autoresponder, or you could export them and email them from your private or business email account, email them individually. That's kind of painful. But if you do have an autoresponder, under the integrations page, that's where we integrate our autoresponders and other things. We have Elementor currently open here as integration. We'll get to that later. There's ActiveCampaign, Aweber, Campaign Monitor, Constant Contact, ConvertFox, ConvertKit, a whole lot of popular ones. Google Analytics integration, just activate that and it'll send events to Google Analytics, which is pretty handy. And MailChimp is the one we're going to integrate right now. So to get our API key, all we have to do is log into our MailChimp account, which I'll do right now. And then when you've logged into MailChimp, go back to the integrations tab, click on this link right here, and it will show us what our API key is, so you don't have to go digging for it inside of the MailChimp app. Just copy this API key right here, paste it in there, save changes, and that's how easy it is to connect MailChimp. For the Elementor connection we saw earlier, just click on the checkbox, activate, click on save changes, and then we can use Elementor to collect leads as well, which I'll show you in just a little bit. Under opt-in campaigns, this is where we start with the magic. We create a new opt-in campaign by clicking on add new. We give it a name like in-post opt-in. Then we pick a template. Right now it's on the Lightbox category. If we go to the in-post category, it's going to show different templates that we can pick from. And here are our in-post templates, and we can customize all aspects of this. So if we choose the sports drink one here, click on select theme. And earlier when I mentioned affiliate links and the small piece of branding, that is in reference to this little logo mark right here. And the design of this template can be changed any way you like. Under design, we can add a new image. We can change the colors. We can add custom CSS if you like that kind of thing. The note is the text at the bottom of the opt-in. So here it says we promise not to spam you, which is this text right down here. And you can also click on these items individually and it opens the tab on the left. Customizing the actual opt-in part is pretty easy. You can have it show just a button. If you activate that, it shows just a button, take action now. That then takes you to the opt-in form. Or you can choose to show the opt-in form up front. You can have only the email field, turn the name field off if that's what you like to do. And depending on what fields you choose, you can customize them down below. Pretty straightforward. Might want to have a higher contrast button color. Let's change that button color to that. And then go back again, and we also have configuration options. This is where in the content the opt-in would go. So we can have it auto-placed after the content or before the content. You can also remove the mail opt-in branding at the bottom by activating this, in which case your affiliate link would also be removed, but that might be what you're after. So the after the content option for me is always the best because you are asking someone to give you something. You're asking for the name and email, which is always best after you've given them something, which is the value your blog post provides. So I always find best results for after content for the in-post opt-ins, but you can choose where to place yours. Integrations, this can be a lead bank only opt-in, and lead bank again is when the contact data is stored on the website. So just activate that to turn that on. Or we can add a new integration, select a provider. It only shows the ones that you've integrated already. We did MailChimp earlier, so MailChimp is here. I'll choose that one. Then we have to choose a list once this loads. So I'm going to choose WP PhD test list. You can have them choose double opt-in, which means after they opt in, they have to confirm by clicking a link in an email, or you can choose to not have that. Usually you get better leads by having double opt-in, but you get a lot fewer leads. So it depends on whether you like to say how big your list is, and that makes you feel proud, or whether you want a cleaner list that is actually more engaged. This depends on what you're going for. If we go back here, we have our after conversion options. This is what happens after someone converts. This dropdown lets you either display a success message, which is written down below, or you can redirect to a URL after someone opts in, like a thank you page. You can pass a lead data to that URL using a simple script that I've linked to up above and tutorial up above. You can actually pull that information out of the URL and put it onto the page. So you can personalize the page with their name and email address if you want to. But you have to turn this option on, and that will make those variables available in the URL when they opt in. I'm just going to choose success message. You can click here to configure autoresponder. And this is a message that is sent right after they opt in. Normally, if you're using an autoresponder like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign or any of those, you want to set this up in there because that makes sure all your emails are in one place, just easier to manage. But if you're using the lead bank option, then this is very important because the thank you message after is very important. So you can customize that there. I'd only use that if you're using lead bank. If you're using autoresponder, set that email up in there. State after conversion, success message shown, opt-in form hidden, opt-in form shown. So after they opt in, this is what will happen to the opt-in form. Notifications of a new lead, this will probably go to you. We set that default earlier, so you don't have to set it here, but you can set a different person in here if you want to. You can also paste a script down below, like a conversion tracking script or some kind of pixel that notifies you when someone has opted in. One more, display rules. This is my favorite one. So this is where the rubber meets the road, I think. So you create your opt-in. Let's say this is it. You've chosen to have it in a post, but this is an electrolyte sports drink opt-in, and you want to just have that on electrolyte sports drink related posts. Under page targeting, you can uncheck this box. This box means the opt-in will show everywhere, filtered by the options down below, or it's shown nowhere, and it only appears on the pages you define down below. So you could have this if you had a sports drink page, which I don't, a sporting events page. So maybe I just want to show this opt-in only on this page, and that's how you do it, or just on these two pages. And you can choose a category if you want. So the sports category makes sense for the sports drink. Custom post types, if that makes sense, you can have the ad show on there. Or if you have the global options selected, you can choose to exclude from certain pages. So you never show the opt-in on the posts you select here. You never load on these pages. You never load on these custom post types. So you probably have a global opt-in for your site, and then you have more specific opt-ins for different areas of your site, which you can then define with this page targeting. Or user targeting, logged in users and logged out users, and visitors and users can see different opt-ins. Visitor has viewed X number of pages. You can choose that. So let's say they visited more than 10 pages. This is a highly engaged user who's either exploring your site or gets a lot of value from it. They might be the person you want to target with an opt-in. Visitors using ad blocking. Ad blocking is becoming more and more prevalent, and it definitely reduces the monetization ability of your site. So this plugin detects ad blocking. It's one of the leading ad blocking detection scripts that they're using. And they can then show these opt-ins to people who have ad blocking. And I've seen this a lot on the Globe and Mail, I think it is, or the Washington Post, or a lot of those online newspaper sites where they say, hey, we survive based on ad revenue and you're blocking ads. So please turn your ad blocker off or donate here, or some kind of call to action to try to get around the ad blocking, I guess. You can show to new versus returning visitors. Returning visitors are, again, the more engaged people because they've been there before, they liked it, and they've come back. Refer detection is pretty cool. This allows you to show or hide from people coming from specific places. So a lot of people come to my site from YouTube. So I type in youtube.com down here, and then I can show this specific opt-in to YouTube users. And then I could tailor it. I could say at the top, hey, YouTube user, or hey, I see you're just on YouTube, or do you like YouTube, ? Or you can be very specific based on where they came from. And this will pick up places like Google, Facebook, Twitter, all the social media platforms, all the major search engines. The referrer will also pick up websites as well. So if you find in your Google Analytics, you're getting a lot of traffic from a certain website, you can have an opt-in specific to people coming from that website. Short code and tag template. This allows you to place the opt-in anywhere you want on a page or anywhere you want within a template, which is pretty handy. And using Elementor, we can also add opt-ins quite easily with that. You can also schedule opt-ins. So if this opt-in was for a sale, you can define a start and end time and a time zone, either the visitor's local time zone or your time zone, whatever makes sense for your opt-in. But you can define a start and end time and have that opt-in disappear when that end time has been reached. I'm gonna click on Save Changes. I don't even know what I changed anymore, but I'll just save changes and exit out of here. And before this opt-in is actually live, we have to choose or toggle the Activate button. So we activate that, and now that opt-in should be on the site. If we go out to a blog post, this blog button doesn't actually work. So I'm gonna go to blog posts like this. I'm always changing things around and breaking things on this demo site, so not everything works all the time. But we have our post here, HTML table, and this was for some video I did in the past. And we have our opt-in right below it. And that's how the in-post opt-in works. Pretty straightforward. This is set to after content. We could have had it before, as we saw earlier. And the opt-in types, there are a lot of them like we saw on their website. They're super easy to set up. All of them are just as easy to set up as I did just now. So I'm not going to go through every single one with you because I know you can figure it out. But again, we have a lightbox pop-up, notification bar, a slide in, sidebar widget, before and after post, embed, inline, and a call to action button. And once these are being shown, we have statistics down at the bottom here. Let's check those out. So because I just loaded that page, we actually have 1 impression already. And that's how fast the statistics appear. It's real time. It doesn't update on its own real time. You have to refresh this page, but they appear instantly. And it shows you an overview of all your opt-ins. Actually, you can filter by opt-in up here. So if you have just select opt-in campaign, then it shows all of them, but you can select individual ones and see just those stats. There's impressions, subscribers, and conversion rate. So if we fill this thing out right now, we should register a subscription and a conversion. Thank you for subscribing. Check your email for further instructions. Thank you very much. Now if we come back here, so you didn't update automatically, so let's refresh analytics. We now have registered a conversion rate of 100%. And it shows on the right-hand side our top converting opt-ins, which is just this one. What page the top where the most conversions happen on, which is the page I just opted in on. So here we have more details, 1 impression, 1 subscriber, 100% conversion on this day. So if you have a lot of opt-ins running, you can get a whole lot of data right in here in this little dashboard. You can clear stats as well. I'd prefer they hide this button or make it more obscure because I like to see the historical data. I don't want to clear my stats. But if you're doing a lot of testing, like this one, for example, would skew my stats a little bit. But if you're doing a lot of testing, then you can clear stats after that and then just hide the button somehow. And then once someone opts in, we have a couple email automation options, which are pretty handy. And when I said couple, I literally mean a couple. There are 2 of them. If you click on Add New, we're able to select from a new post notification, which is when someone is on your list, they get an email with your new post automatically. You can set this up in a lot of autoresponders as well, but this plugin will do it for you so much faster. And then post email digest. This is if you're posting a lot of content. Say you have a really busy site, you're posting once a day or multiple times a day, and people just don't want to get that many emails. Some people don't want to get that many emails, some do. But if they don't, you can have a digest and you can have it sent at the end of the week and it shows a list of everything you published that week. I've found most people prefer that method, but you can do either one of these options using the email automation. And that's really the bulk of this plugin and how it works. But I know a lot of you guys use Elementor, so I want to show you how the integration works. If we go to Pages, just add a new page, and this can be done in Elementor templates as well. I'm just going to show you inside of a page. Let's call this MailOptin test and click on Save Draft and click on Edit with Elementor. And if we search for MailOptin, we have a MailOptin widget that's been added and a form. If we drag and drop the MailOptin widget into here, you have the option to give it a title and select an opt-in. Mine doesn't select anything because we use the in-post option, but if we had the call to action button or the embed one, it would show up here as an option to select from. But we can also integrate using a Elementor form. So let's search for mail again. This is the regular form option or form widget from Elementor Pro. And in here at the after submit actions, we can choose mail opt-in. Now I have a mail opt-in option here. Under here, we can choose our service provider, MailChimp, pick the list like we did earlier, and this will now add anybody who fills in our contact form to that mailing list as well. And again, from email service, it only shows MailChimp because that's the only one I actually integrated, but you can choose any others that you integrate when you do integrate them. Then they fill out the form and it adds them to the list. So you don't have to use the mail opt-in options if you don't want to. You can use forms created in Elementor. And inside the MailChimp dashboard, it's the last thing to show you here. I'll show you that my contact was actually added that we filled in earlier. If we go to lists and then go to WP PhD test, which is the list I've added to the plugin. So we see me, I added myself here, and the date added was actually 2017. I didn't realize I already added this email to this list, but the date changed was today, October 2nd, which is up here, October 2nd at 4:15. And these guys must be on Eastern time because it says 7:08. So that was about 7 minutes ago that I did this. I was already added to this list, but it shows that it was updated, changed with new information, which is the new opt-in. And that is how we use MailOptin, the plugin. It's a great plugin I love, especially, like I said earlier, all the different places, all the different types of opt-ins you have, and combining that with the ability to make them appear on specific pages or after specific times or meet specific criteria before they're triggered can be very powerful if you take the time to figure that out. It takes a lot of time to create those different opt-in offers. It takes a lot of time to implement that through a plugin like this, but it's powerful when you do. And like I said earlier, there's a link in the description or a coupon code in the description down below for a 15% off discount if you're interested in this plugin. I encourage you to check it out if you are wanting to increase your list size and grow your online business. You need to eventually invest in something like this to help you fine-tune and personalize and tailor your offers to specific groups of people on your site, because that will get you the most ROI. So that's how it works. I hope this video helps you. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything, and check out the Facebook group linked to in the comments down below. And next up, let's click on one of these videos that popped up on the right-hand side so you get even better at WordPress. And until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.